Hello,
Hello,
demon.
demon, and welcome once more to another episode of Philly by Night. Today, we have the neonate session of Regent. Can I keep it? So, without any further ado, we turn to Mr. Oscar Sullivan. But, first off, trigger warning. This session may contain, but is not limited to, body horror, mutilation, manipulation, gaslighting, use and abuse of disciplines, raised voices, possibility of violence leading up to and including final death, possible methods of torture, starvations and the mentions thereof, religious extreme beliefs and practices. For your safety and comfort, your SC team has set up a series of emojis in the stoplight system. We'll be doing check-ins as the session goes, and you may either state your color or post the corresponding emoji in the beta chat. At any time, you can state this. If you are yellow, you are welcome to head to decompression if you feel you need to do so, and a member of the admin team will be with you. If you are red, the scene will stop. We will go to decompression. That is not like a suggestion. It's not a request. This is a mandatory safety precaution. And now, we turn to our scene. Oscar, you awake in your haven. The blood from your rousing and blushing as a reflexive maneuver draws your hunger, and as you open your eyes in the dark, yet once more are those red, peering eyes, not in the same corner this time, but staring from another, possibly by the closet of your own bedroom, followed by this almost insectoid clicking. Still you hold back. Why do you pretend to be something else? Embrace what you are. You're full of so much fear. Maybe that's why he took you away. You weren't ready for what stands here. He knew the cowardice. He knew the weakness in you. He had to hide you, had to shelter you. Yes. That's what it is, isn't it? And there's a cackle like as it fades back into nothing but shadow.
Oscar lets out a slight growl of frustration. I am getting really tired of seeing him. And is just going to kind of get himself up and together, dressing a little sharper than he would typically, because he's about to be on official business and he wants to put his best foot forward. So as he does this, he is going to peek his head out, or like open his bedroom door into the rest of the apartment kind of thing, and call out to see if Andres is there.
So he only spent the one night at the Coterie Haven, right?
Yeah.
All right. No answer from him. There is a note pinned to the, after coming out and kind of looking over the apartment, there's a little note magnet pinned to the fridge. Went out, be back later.
He'll sign it. Cool, doing the same now. May not be back later. We'll see. And we'll sign and grab the keys to Seamus, and we'll start making his quarter way up. Before he does, though, he'll make the phone calls from inside the apartment because he won't have to worry quite as much about people. But he will call Valentina.
Okay. So you dial her number. It rings a couple of times before there's an answer. Good evening. How may I help you?
Hi, yes. Oscar. I am reaching out to see if you would be able to find another, or like a meeting place for where I can speak with the local scholars, because meeting them in their home turf seems a bit unwise, and I figure a neutral ground is probably going to be best, but one that we can use for our activities, if that makes sense.
Of course, of course. I will reach out to the professor and see what is a good meetup location. I'll be in touch soon.
All right, I'm gonna go grab a bite to eat, and then we'll click and also start prepping to go on the hunt because he's a very hangry Lasombra.
So as he heads out into the city to get his evening meal, let's get that hunting roll.
Oh Jesus! Where did this work? Oh hello. Okay. Oh, that is the wrong button. I'm hungry. Dang nabbit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 5. Am I allowed to blood surge on a hunting check? I feel really dumb for asking that.
You absolutely can blood surge on a hunting check.
Oh, good, because I'm gonna. We'll see how well this goes. Da, 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 da. There we go. See how well or how bad this goes. Oh, hey, I met the minimum and I didn't get
All
hungrier.
right.
Woo!
Very good, very good. Considering certain things that your character sheet has.
Yes.
Yes, you're able to go out and kind of coerce one of the local street thugs into a corner and feed off of them, lowering your hunger all the way down to 1. Don't worry about that, Kendall. Yeah, so as you drain him, just walking away, heading to
I will
back
cloud
home to get the
memory first.
car, or
Yeah, I
okay.
am doing cloud memory. I need to make sure I preface that to make sure that he has no memory of the very tall, dark, and handsome stranger. So yeah, he's gonna just make his way after that back to his car and essentially sit and wait for the phone call for Valentina to figure out where he is meeting the Tremere.
Oscar will receive a text message from Valentina. It just says museum meeting room.
Can you tell me what that means out of character? Because Wolfgar does not know.
So the grounds of Elysium are underneath the museum, the Philadelphia Museum.
Okay, so Elysium Grounds. Got it. So what he will do then is head to the Coterie Haven, pick up Seymour, and
all right. So going to the Coterie Haven, underneath the Automobile Museum of History, going down into the common area where we had set the plant.
Yes.
You now see that this plant has overgrown the ceramic pot in which it was based in,
God.
and has some vines coming down out of it onto the floor and slowly creeping up the walls.
Oh, so there's no moving it now. Noted.
I also need a resolving composure check.
Oh, like a willpower check or just resolving composure?
No, just resolving composure.
Any blood die?
Yes.
Okay, just need to know. That is. Bum, 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 bum. It's 2.
Okay. There's just something about this plant right now. It has become so entrancing and gorgeous that
I hate this.
You simply can't take your eyes off of it. There's just something about it. It's so beautiful. You're enraptured by it. Like you have to be near it. This is your plant. You took it. You carried it. This is your plant now.
Oh God. So, putting the slightly obsessed with the plant aside, is there any way to feasibly move it, or is it too big?
You could probably pull the vines and stuff and kind of like fold it up onto the plant itself. It'd be a little gangly and awkward to carry, but it's feasible.
Apparently, it's my plant now. So what he is gonna do is kind of start this process of slowly trying to like being as gentle as he possibly can, because he knows, at least from Catherine, that plant can be fragile. So he's gonna try to pull it gently down off the wall and see about getting it to his car.
For all intents and purposes, kind of think of that as like a kind of being like under a compulsion of possessiveness, but it's not a compulsion.
Okay, so it's a compulsion without it being a compulsion. So it's flavor?
It's a mechanic.
It's a mechanic. Okay.
I don't know how else to phrase it.
So it's like you're under the influence of a discipline power-ish.
No, you could say that.
Okay, cool. So yeah,
almost like you're in awe of something.
I would explain given whose blood was put in the plant. Anyway, so yeah, he's gonna like just get the plant to the car. That's all he's gonna know to do at this point.
Let's see. For the sake of that, give me a wits and stealth roll.
Wits and stealth. Can I add my shadow cloak to that, please?
I don't think you need to activate that. So
no, I do not.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Thanks. It just adds some things. And you said wits and stealth, right?
Yep.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yep. Yep, that's an automatic +2 to stealth rolls.
Ew.
Okay.
No. I need to re-roll that. Spending a willpower.
Right. 3. 1.
Better than 1.
So, fairly certain that you're able to get up out of the Coterie Haven and into the car without causing too much suspicion or arousing any passerbys that may be walking by the parking lot. And you are able to load it up and kind of like strap it in with a seatbelt so it's not going anywhere. And you are free to head to where you need to be.
Yep, nope. Just making my way downtown, walking fast. I'm a seagull.
So, driving across town, coming up to the Philadelphia Museum, once more the Greco-Roman building with the lighting and the cement of the stairwells leading up to it, casting an orange glow up into the pillars and ceiling of the entrance. Oscar knows that is not the entrance we use. We go around the side, we enter from there, and there are a number of meeting rooms aside from the throne room, which John usually presides. We are not going to see the prince here. We are going to go to a meeting spot inside the hall itself. Going inside, you will find a door ajar, to where, pushing it open, carrying your new best friend, you would see 2 faces who I do not believe you have seen as of yet.
I've seen Cyrene in passing, but I have not seen Islington.
Yes. So the Tremere Cyrene, you would be semi-familiar with, like, I have seen you somewhere. And then the older gentleman, who I only can assume is wearing a tweed suit, as is custom, one Regent Jonathan Islington.
Yeah, before and upon getting up to the door of the room, Oscar will politely rap on the door frame. Wait for acknowledgement to enter. It's on his best behavior. Oh, is my button not working? Oh, is it not me?
Jeremiah's muted.
Oh.
He will dip his head and say, "Please enter," and he will be drinking a cup of tea as you're entering in.
Quick question, quick sniff. Is there any vitae in that?
Nope.
Oh, okay. So yeah, no. So Oscar will come in with his new best friend and gently kind of set it down, make sure that it looks like he is trying to make it comfortable in a weird fashion, just because he just feels compelled to do that, and will offer a bow and deference to them, and says, "Greetings. My name is Oscar Sullivan."
Good evening. I believe you may have met the court oracle Cyrene.
Yes, I do believe introductions were made when we were wearing our coterie oaths. It is good to see you again, Mix Leclerc.
Nice to see you again too, Mr. Sullivan.
And you are?
Jonathan Islington, Primogen of the Tremere. Pleasure to meet you.
Oh, good. And at this point, he will sit down. Once the introductions have been made, he will sit and kind of put his hands crossed, sort of like this, on the table. And goes, I was hoping I could ask you some questions and see what you may know about my friend here. I was told you may have been doing some research into these, and yes, it's just curious.
Yes, I'm familiar with them. It's a pleasure to meet you. I might advise that if you're going to be close enough to carry them, you might want to keep a mask handy. They're helpful to fend off the pheromones that they release, among other things.
I'm sorry, what?
They can influence you.
Would Oscar... Go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, Siren's just gonna chuckle. You ever heard Batman Poison Ivy? Kind of think like that.
Is that something that Oscar would be cognizant enough or aware enough that he is acting funky because of this, or he's assuming that?
No.
Oscar's not a complete dummy, but he is no dots in a cult, so he would not necessarily know any bit about what's going on.
He also lacks the merits in other disciplines to know when he is being influenced supernaturally.
Oh yeah, he didn't have to. Not a lick of it. He says, "Oh, that's strange."
Indeed.
It seems like a normal plant to me.
Where did you find this sample?
This one in particular, myself and the rest of my group found in the basement of the one Primogen strain. Hi, buddy. Hi. Hello. Sorry. My older small is curious enough to come ask. I apologize.
No worries. The basement, generally speaking, can you give a a rough approximation of an address? I don't need to know the exact location, but neighborhood.
Yeah, Oscar will give the description of the neighborhood, and then we'll say something strange. I will say is that this thing in particular, is attuned to what seems like a direction. It's like a homing beacon or like a compass of sorts. It was pointing in a particular direction. We got as far as within a stone's throw of the northern border, and it was still pointing in a particular direction. We did not risk stepping outside of the prince's domain, but we got as close as we could, and that was about as far as we could get before making our way back. But that was strange. That was something that we had figured out that it was doing. It was pointing in a particular direction, almost like it was tracking something. We were trying to use it to track something anyway. We did not go. We didn't get as far as we would have liked.
I would say that, well, a few things. First off, what prompted you to look into this?
We were, as far as we were looking for Primogen strain, and we were tasked with looking for him, and this was part of that, simply by proximity.
So it was found in his basement while you were looking for
Yes.
it?
Yes.
I see.
And before we ventured any further, we were going to look into and do some more research about the strip of land that is along that border to see if there is anything of note. And this was one of the first stops that I was advised to make.
I see. So, how long have you been in Philadelphia?
I have been here for a small bit of time. I was here when I was brought into this unlife here, and spent some time around the area up until about the 90s. And then I made my way to New York, pulled by fighting the Sabbat.
I see. And what brought you back?
I heard interesting rumblings that there was a new prince in town, and I had heard tell about that, of how he had fought and won the city back from a tyrant. And so I figured it was about time to come back home and put down roots once again.
See.
Hopefully in a better spot than we were all those years ago.
I'm curious then. You came back, were given a mission, you found this curious item, found it, and you came to me.
That would be correct.
But you haven't asked me any questions.
I figured I would debrief you on all that I know first, and if you had any other insights you may want to ask. I figure I was told you were already doing the research, and I did not want to ask questions that you still had not had the answers to, if that makes any sense. I'm not sure if it does.
And you were nervous about talking to a Tremere, perhaps?
Not as much as that. I am aware that not everyone can be judged by what clan name they carry. I, of course, should know that. So, I going into this with an open mind about a subject I am very unfamiliar with in regards to his gestures to the plant.
Well, I can tell you what our experts have turned up. It's, I believe, called a mandragora. It is tied to kindred vitae in some manner. We have an expert amongst the clan who deals with plant matters, and she assures me that it is something of a threat to the city in general because it seems to be growing free. And you're carrying it around. You should be more cautious.
I figured you would need to see it as opposed to going based on conjecture. I did not know that there were multiple of these things until recently, so wonderful. There's more of them, and more of them are relying on vitae. Wonderful.
Well, you said that it was pointing to the north. Would you say it's pointing towards New Jersey, then?
Storyteller, what direction was it pointing in?
While early in the initial evening it had pointed east towards New Jersey, the flowers seemed to shift as the night went on, more towards the north to northeast. So less at New Jersey, more towards northern Pennsylvania and New York.
Okay, cool. So Oscar will regurgitate all that and make sure Islington knows what direction is it was pointing and how it shifted.
It's really useful for our research. Sareen, did you have any questions that occurred to you?
Sorry, I had to get my cursor out of beta chat, or else it would have been just a string of zeros, and nobody wants that. Cyreen's gonna look at Oscar, look at the plant. Nobody's like tried to. You said you found this you were looking in somebody's house. Do you know which person? I'm assuming I'm not as knowledgeable as our expert on Mandragora, but I'm assuming touching them ain't gonna be a good thing, or chompy.
I touched it just fine, and it didn't. You wait. Does this thing have teeth? And Oscar,
you haven't seen any teeth on it.
Okay, so Oscar's just gonna look somewhat alarmed at this plant.
In fact, I know Oscar has already made this roll, but the both of you, I believe, have decent science scores, right?
Yeah.
If you want, you can go ahead and make an intelligence and science roll real quick.
Would biology come into play, or does it need to be more specialized?
It's more botany than biology.
Okay.
Could I make an argument for academics?
Yeah, we could do academics. Oh, Kendall the Gremlin. Gotta love it.
Okay, that's not bad. 3.
Alright. Yeah, that's way more than enough.
So,
just waiting on Cyrene real quick. Oh, yeah. Okay. So it is easy enough to tell that at one point in time, and this is a trigger warning for people who have things against substance and substance use, this was a marijuana plant. Although it has somewhat been mutated, seemingly by the vitae, to where there are now intricate vines in it sprouting these white flowers with red centers that seem to all point in one direction. Rather indicative of the things that Primogen strain of the Toreador is rather notorious for.
Well, little one, and Serene's just kind of looking at chuckling. Don't suppose if you got a name, we'd call you Mary Jane.
So this Mandragora seems to be a mutation from cannabis.
Makes sense given the plants that this one was surrounded by, and that it was what basically we were shown. We were shown a vision of what this plant was before the particular vitae was added to it.
Well then, do take precautions like it is a hostile organism. Don't necessarily try to destroy it. Among other things, it might respond if you do. But treat it as if it is hostile. Try to avoid direct contact with it.
Might be a bit late for that. I had to pull it off of my Coterie Haven's wall.
It's growing.
It got bigger, yes.
Kind of do a read on Oscar right now?
As an insight check?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
Under the
happily lend
microscope.
you an assistant dice.
He's
Yes.
just going to look at...
Stare at him.
Well...
do not like this microscope I am under.
Oscar, are you trying to mask it all?
Not really. He's very well confused. He's very confused as to why they are telling him to treat the plant as hostile when the plant is his friend. He has no reason to think that is hostile. So he's not really
I got
hiding anything.
All right.
Jesus Christ.
What kind of stuff is Lincoln looking for specific?
Well, first, to see if he's under the influence of some sort of external power. Like, is he acting in accord with his own, or is something messing with him?
Whether Oscar knows it or not, every time there is a mention of this plant or something unpleasantly said about it, his hands seem to subconsciously drift to, like, clutch the terracotta or clay potting pot. Indicative that he may be under some kind of external influence, perhaps from the presence variety.
Right. And also, anything else that I might get off of him, since I'm doing a read off of him?
General nervous, uncertainty, a little bit of fear, I suppose, and just a general, like, not necessarily a longing for the plant, but some kind of strange attachment to it.
Well, let's see here. I think we can do something to assist, though. He'll reach into his bag and take out gloves and a mask, and he will hand them to Cyrene.
They will put them on. Cyrene hasn't treated the plant as hostile. She's doing, like, the little head twitch thing that you see. She's just making cooing noises at it.
Cyrene, if you could take this into another room where it can get more light.
Yep. Puts on the mask.
Yeah, where the extra protection.
very gently. All right, Mary Jane, come on now.
I don't know, Oscar. That seems like a bad idea. That means you won't be with your plant.
Are you? No offense, I do trust your judgment on some of this matter, but given that this was a plant that and I feel some sense of responsibility, and if something happens to it, I don't really feel. Yes.
I will need you to sit there for a moment while we make sure that it gets the care it needs. Cyrene, please.
I promise. You know what? Here, will it help if I have my friend, and she'll gesture to Erwin, stay here with you while I go put the plant where it can get a little more moonlight?
Here, we'll have Oscar make a resolving composure. He'll get a +1 die for puppy snuggles.
Do you sense Cyrene is picking it up? Do I need to?
No.
Okay.
Although you feel greatly uncomfortable about this, Oscar, you understand that this might be part of their process and are willing to I'll grab it before I leave. It's fine.
I was so afraid that he was going to do something really stupid, like, inflict violence. I am so glad that he did not roll low enough to inflict violence. It's fine.
He wouldn't have been the first Lasombra.
That's so not the point. No, but he will kind of just look down at Arwen, because the boy has no dots of animal kin, but is just looking at the dog like, most of you run from me. He's just kind of looking at the dog curiously because he sees the two colored eyes and doesn't see that often in animals. So it's just kind of like, oh, that's interesting. He doesn't poke it with a stick, Kendall, but he just kind of is staring at it like, he's not gonna. He's smart enough to know that he is keeping his hands to himself in most of this.
Oscar?
Yes, Mr. Islington. Primogen Islington, I apologize.
It's all right. That's a good lad. I think that you are under the influence. The plant has already exerted some control over you. Now that it's outside of your presence, it should lessen.
And in fact, now that plant is out of the room and out of sight, there does seem to be this question in the back of your head of like, why did I feel so attached? Like it's a plant. Like this is fine. What's going on?
He mutters under his breath in Irish Gaelic, a swear, because my kiddo's in the next room. I can't say it out loud, but something to the effect of "son of a" in Irish Gaelic, and then we'll just kind of. Forgive me, I had not realized that it had exerted any influence over me at all. Wonderful. This is such a great first impression, I'm sure. And we'll kind of start fidgeting with the reins on his hand.
He will reach into his bag, and he will hand you another mask. That should help. They do have pheromones that they can deliver through. Also avoid physical contact. Try some gloves.
I got a pair of fingerless ones in my glove compartment. Quick question. Where should we keep that? Where does it need to go? I have a sudden feeling of dread that keeping it in the coterie haven is bad.
If you want, we can return it to the chantry. We have some samples already under special conditions already. So it would just be one more sample for us.
All right. Yeah, I suppose it would be better with people who have more of a grasp on what it is than us lot. All things considered. Quick question:
Also,
do any of the other samples that you have, do they have this thing where they point in directions or look like they are homing in on something, or is that just that one's unique ability?
I have not had it reported to me that they pointed at a particular direction, though they have been known to interact with kindred nearby. So, caressing being one of the descriptions I've heard.
Ours didn't show any of that. We were near it. A fellow coterie mate was poking it, not the plant directly, but we used a dowel to get into the. When we found it, the resonance was still on the air. I could smell it. It was intense. It was a disgracia, a
I
melancholic
see.
disgracia, which, with the intensity for it to still be on the air and for me to smell it, means that the vitae put in it was relatively fresh enough to still carry a smell.
I see. Well, that is added fodder to the discussion. Expert, if you are interested in discussing with her directly, is Alma Yara. She is a magister in our group, so you should seek her out for further information on the plants. You're with the neonate coterie, yes?
That is correct.
See. And Miss Diadamo didn't try and analyze this for you?
She was able to analyze it to a point, but to be absolutely fair, she had never seen a plant like it either.
I would be cautious in relying upon Miss Diadamo.
What makes you say that?
She has a history.
What kind? Curiosity kind of eyebrows are knit together, and like genuine curiosity, but he's just kind of like, he adjusts himself in his hands and stuff like that, and it's just steadily, there's a spinning silver band that he keeps on one of his hands, and it's just spinning that as they talk and have conversation.
Her loyalties can be fickle at the cost of people's lives. I would not trust her if I were you.
I will take your word under advisement. All things considered, we should always trust and verify those that we are going to be put alongside to work with, especially like this one, so still finding its feet after the war.
Well, I will say that you, of course, should not bear the weight of her prior misdeeds. Guilt by association is an ugly thing. But I would certainly advise against involving her in too much. You might regret it.
Mr. Regent, or does he actually, wait, he said Primogen, he hasn't said Regent yet, never mind. Says Primogen Islington. As much as that may be sound advice, it does not make for a cohesive unit. And while her actions in the past may have caused some harm to others, I do not know. I have not asked. It is not my story to tell. I am going to give her the benefit of the doubt until I am given a reason not to, simply because I cannot keep her out of all of the involvement.
It would occur to
group.
Oscar that Primogen Islington did say, at the cost of other people's lives, insinuating that her actions caused at least one death somewhere.
They're kindred. If someone has not died at least once or twice because of their actions, it is simply what it is. He's not a complete, thing. He's a member of the IRA. He is no stranger to death. He has gone forward with surrounded by death, even in his kind life. This isn't anything new to him. It's an unfortunate way of the world. And humans are just as monstrous as kindred are in this regard. So, and his countenance is that he is taking the thing under the advice, but he is one of those, I'm going to take what you said under advice and trust but verify, but I can't.
Give me a charisma and etiquette roll.
Okay, cool. This will be fun. Do I have dots in that? Yes. Thanks for that. Hi, bud. Can I blood search, please?
Not for this one. It's kind of in the moment.
Yep. Nope. I need to re-risk that. And
okay.
No.
Burning another one.
That's 2. It's better than nothing.
Okay.
Very well. I hope I have not offended you, Mr. Sullivan. Would not wish to burden you with more pains than are required.
You have not offended me in the slightest. More fact, I appreciate you giving me this warning when it comes to those that I am working with. Trusting and verifying who they are and being cautious is how we survive. So I appreciate the warning.
Of course. I understand. So, if I may, in a more broad sense, and since I'm sure Cyrene is back, I would like to ask a personal question, if you don't mind.
I might have an answer for you. What is it you want to know?
I find it's useful to get to understand people in the city, to better understand what is going on. So, what do you want?
In regards to what exactly?
Well, you came back to the city. What do you want? Do you wish to be Primogen someday? Hold position? Do you want domain? What is it that you want?
I do hope to see more of my family members drawn back to the fold. I have found in the places where I have been, they have benefited from those of us that stand with the tower. So that is something that I wish to see. It's something that, especially when Lasombra come together for the betterment of a place, they get it done.
Aren't they
So,
often abused by those in the tower? Required to give up their elders and treated with suspicion the entire time they're there?
Some. The only place I have heard that requires that particular price might be up in Chicago, last I heard, but everywhere that I have went, I have more.
Oscar, give me an intelligence and politics roll.
Oh, Jesus. I don't have that. I've got 2 dots in this. This is not. Why are we doing it? It would stand the reason that he's only got the 1 bit of knowledge there. Oh, well, he more than paid for it. He's got 1.
While you were probably ignorant of the majority of Camarilla cities, Chicago and New York would definitely both come to 9, especially having been in New York for such a long time. And how you were known in New York.
Ah, yes. It's because I have paid the price. If that is what you were trying to ask, but I have paid that.
All right. Do you feel a sense of injustice being done?
Not presently, no. I have done what I had to survive. Not much more beyond that.
I see. Very well. Did you know Imelda?
Who?
Imelda.
I can't say that the name sounds familiar. Was she another one of? Was she a Lasombra you might have known?
She was a prominent Lasombra in this city.
What side was she on?
And the tower, last I checked.
If she was in the tower, I did not see her. But that hardly means anything. Not all of us congregate in the same place at the same time to do all the things, especially given the environment that used to be prevalent here.
I see.
But that is neither here nor there.
Do you have any questions for us? You have an oracle of the court and the Primogens of the Tremere at your disposal. It is a good time for you to ask questions.
I am curious about. I have only heard telling stories about what was done in this city, and rumors and conjecture aren't always the most reliable. What on the dear Lord's green earth happened to here? I had heard tell that there were methods used that you shouldn't. That there was employment of the Second Inquisition, and that almost every clan, with the exception of a very select few, were all but wiped out of here, out of their homes. So, what? How?
I believe our oracle here was here for some of that. Perhaps she could eliminate some of the things that were done. Or they can, at any rate.
If you feel comfortable in having this discussion, if you do not, I will not begrudge you not telling me, or just telling me politely to shove off.
Is Oscar... Hang on, let me look at your Oscar's outfit real quick. Does he, like, make it clear that he's IRA?
His general countenance is very, like, he doesn't have any symbolism on him at the moment, but he's got while his hands were up on the table when the plant was in the room, now that the thing is in there, he's got his hands in his pockets, which was a thing that they used to do back in the day. They still sometimes do now as a form of protest, but he's kind of subconsciously had his hands in his pockets ever since the plant left the room.
And she's seen John and Finnegan do it, so...
I would wager that this is a common subconscious action that you have noticed Finn partake in.
Alright. That's not Cyrene's voice. I slipped into my... Anyways. Cyrene chuckles and will gesture... she'll kind of gesture and sit down, and Arwen will come back to their side and start scritching behind the ears. So, yes. The former prince who was taken care of employed hunters to wipe out the former court, her enemies, and when that didn't work, decided to use certain methods to silence opposition, burn out Nosferatu warrens, and meddle in things that she should not have.
Quick question, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing, even given the brief time that he spent with that particular sect, does any of this sound like it rings any bells whatsoever?
No, I believe Oscar left before it got bad, but the using of hunters to execute fellow court members, even in other social circles among the kindred, is a super big thing where it's like, no, we don't do that. As well as burning out an entire, let's call it, biosphere of a certain clan of kindred, emulating Nosferatu warrens and burning them to ash. Though, with the silencing, that would depend on how much detail Cyrene goes into that particular statement.
They have just left it at silencing because it is knowledge, but it is not going into detail. If Oscar pushes, they will give more detail. But if he does not press, then they will continue on into kind of broad strokes of the war.
He won't push this issue. He will flag it as so some not so savory stuff was done. Got it. And then let Cyrene continue.
Yeah, unsavory would be putting it lightly with, I think, how Cyrene, even softballing it in, it would sound. This was essentially genocide.
They'll hold up their fingers like this. Gangrel, Bruja, Nosferatu. Excised from the city.
You mean they were all killed?
No. A few survived.
Oh, okay.
Very few. And she'll hold up do the mental math, Bruja, and hold up a thumb, Nosferatu, and then Gangrel she'll do about 5, I think is where her estimated head count would be at.
That sounds about right.
So,
Though someone is...
So upon mentioning of the Bruja and the Gangrel, there is worry on Oscar's face. There's shock when it comes to the Nosferatu because he is not so unaware of the fact that stuff is happening with that he knows that that's bad juju. But when you bring up the fact that the Gangrel and he kind of gets a slightly worried look on his face. But when you talk about survival, he's just kind of like, okay, some lived, and is kind of having his own little internal conversation, but we'll let Cyrene continue.
The former prince employed enforcers, different clans, not the greatest people, as you can imagine, given what I just said. Prince Sexton heard all this was happening, tried to do it the right way. People didn't listen. So he got a few of us together and we took it in our own hands. Wasn't without cost. Now we rebuild and make sure it doesn't happen again.
That takes a great deal of courage to do. Fighting in a war like that against enemies that dark, that ruthless. Takes a special kind of person, takes a specific kind of kindred to do that as well. So, not that you need it, but I applaud your bravery and you have my utmost respect. You and all those involved.
We'd rather you help fix the city than give us thanks. Besides, when part of your own family is doing it, can't stand by.
Well, I hope that my presence here will be a boon, and that I will do what I can to rebuild the city best way I can.
Well, I'm sure that the city is better off for your presence. I know I can occasionally become a bit... I've been told I am occasionally intimidating. I hope I have not offended you.
Oh, for heaven's sake, no! You're not. You did not offend me, and as much as I do respect you, you don't necessarily have to put out the air of intimidation and things like that. You don't have to do that.
Oh no!
I respect enough. I respect people enough not to judge them by appearance, and two, automatically not account them as threats. That is a very...
There is an important question for you, Oscar. As a former or old member of the IRA, how does our young Lasombra feel about the English?
He does not like them at all, but that is since Islington has had the good graces to keep his mouth shut and not bring it up. Oscar is doing the same and having good graces enough to not bring it up. So he's gonna just.
Although, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe Islington speaks with a very English accent.
Oh yes, very, very, very English.
Yeah, no, he's trying to pretend that doesn't bother him, but that's why he has kept his hands in his pockets the entire time since the plant left.
And subterfuge.
This will be fun.
He's pretending is all I needed to hear.
Yep, and I will be doing the counter roll, yes?
Absolutely, if you choose.
You said
I'm
composure
spending
plus
willpower.
subterfuge?
Yep, because you're not trying to outright lie. You're trying to mask and remain calm. It's more of a composure, like keep myself together kind of thing.
And hey,
Yeah.
since I'm aware of things, can I vibe check the two of them to make sure we're not going to have a 800 years we pull it? Yeah.
I'm absolutely here for it. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Emotional state, I take it, comes in?
Yep.
Thank you.
7 with crit.
Hell.
I did spend a willpower.
Okay. Let's see how.
Can I
our
bless Surge as
neonates
well or not? If not, that's okay. I just need to know.
For this one, I think I would allow it, given
Okay.
how strongly he feels like I need to not fuck this up.
Yeah.
Pardon my French.
Oh God. Oh no, this is
Mm.
awful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't really want to spend.
We're spending will.
I don't want to spend a willpower on this. I don't, because I don't want to have to. That would be my third one. Wait, it would be the third one, right?
Yep.
And if I wait the next day, I would get all of my willpower back, right?
At the moment, yes.
Okay, cool. Then I will spend that.
Okay.
Because I don't want it. Oh no.
5 successes.
Yeah.
Do I want to risk it for this biscuit? Because that's a 10 on a crit on a blood die. I don't. Odds or evens, folks.
Odds. I'm gonna go white girl. I can't even.
Okay, hold on. Happen? Okay, he's over there. Okay. He's gonna.
All right.
Oh, and it does absolutely no
And
good.
To
So,
no
yeah.
avail. So we got 3 willpower spent, and we're up to hunger 2.
Yep. So, yeah,
Islington,
no.
you can see through this man like he is a transparent sheet of plastic. He is obviously holding back. There's this almost flex twitch that he does every time you speak. And Cyrene, you can almost sense the animosity of there being like, I'm trying not to be judgmental, but he's English and I can't help it. And you can pick up like, Islington well enough to like, yeah, he's probably picking this up. I don't even need to look in his direction.
I hate it.
Yeah, Cyrene just mumbles under her breath in Spanish. Fuck, it's like Eric and Finnegan all over again.
Hold on a minute. Wait, I gotta make sure that is not one of the languages he speaks. One moment, please.
You do speak Spanish.
Yeah, no. In responding in Spanish, we'll go, who's Finnegan and Eric?
We'll switch back to English at this point. Eric was a gentleman who assisted in the war effort. And Finnegan is my coterie mate who also assisted and belongs to a certain social club that likes lilies.
Oh, aye. Fellow countrymen, then?
I'm pretty sure St. Patrick presided over his birth and yep, that's one of mine.
Oh. I'll have to meet this one.
I suppose I will ask. Belfast?
Off by a bit. Waterford.
Wasn't really my desk, I'm afraid.
Wonderful to know. I guess.
We leave many of our animosities behind.
It's just a wee bit of a sore spot given my personal history, so forgive me for my countenance on this matter. I mean no disrespect. And it's just kind of like, he's not talking through gritted teeth because he's not that bad off, but because it's just more of a, I am trying my best here, doing the woo-saw, breathing unnecessarily to keep himself going off on a rant or a tangent, because he knows it's not going to be a issue. He doesn't want to be an issue. He just,
It's all right. It was a long time ago. Much progress has been made.
Wait, what year is this in game?
2024.
Okay, I was trying to
exactly
see
May
if
17th of 2024.
Okay, cool. I was asking simply because I know that there was some actual progress made over there, but Wolfgar is not 100% recalling the date and was wanting to know if time had passed in that regard. So it's just like, if it has, which I'm going to just operate under the assumption that it has unless told otherwise, we'll say indeed, well earned, I would suspect. But that is neither here nor there. I do appreciate you taking the time to meet with me, both of you meeting with me, and thank you for giving me your knowledge. If we need to expound on this any more than we already have this evening, then I will. Is there contact information for Miss Alma that I could perhaps get that we may utilize at a later date? Or
yes, though I would again advise that Miss Diadama not be the one who calls.
She will not be.
And he'll provide a phone number. This is how you would reach her.
Excellent. He will reach across, doing the 2-finger grab, pick it up, and kind of just do the tuck it into the same pocket that his little black handkerchief is sticking out of at the moment, and is going to put his hands kind of back in his pockets. Because, well, I think at least we know its name, know that it is to be treated as hostile, and as far as I'm concerned, at least we no longer have to worry about it influencing anyone else in the coterie. Hopefully.
Remember to wear gloves and a mask whenever you have to handle it.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Treat them with care. If you, I don't think it's going to be healthy to, say, attack the plants or anything. But they do seem to be spreading more than just a few places. So
Where's the heaviest concentration of them?
it's hard to say. There's some in a local graveyard. You found some in this basement. They seem to be spreading around the city. We haven't firmly established what the origin point is, but we have a couple of ideas.
All right, then. Could you...
Mr. Sullivan.
I'm sorry?
It's been a pleasure meeting you. I am sorry that we got off onto a bad foot.
'Tis fine. I'm just glad that the meeting accomplished at least what it set out to do, which was gain more information. And I, again, thank you for you both spending the time and taking it to one, help me, because had it not been for the two of you, I would not have realized that it could exert influence this way. So I will make sure that I let my group know next we meet and see about getting more of the masks and gloves. The ones I have are fingerless, which may be next to useless. However, we'll get that fixed.
Any hardware store should have them. A Walmart, even.
Costco membership.
I'll have to invest in one of those. I'm going to be needing one in the coming nights at some point. In any case.
Oh, Mr. Sullivan, you got
Yes.
a number I can pass on to Finnegan? I have a feeling he'll want to see more.
Of course. And he will, you got a sheet of paper?
Yeah, she reaches in the bag, pulls out a blank notebook, rips out a page, and hands it over.
Yeah, he will basically pull a pen and will write down a number and just write fellow countrymen on it, because putting your name in places is really dumb. I'm putting this there so he'll know, but you can give him my name as Oscar, or I've got a name I've been using in my communiques. It's Wolfgar's gonna butcher this pronunciation, and I apologize to everyone in Ireland rolling over in their grave. Scafrodai, which essentially roughly translates to Shadow Warrior in Irish Gaelic. But
I'll let him know. I don't know. We've been kind of busy with our own things, but I'll let him know that some friends of his social club are in town.
True enough. I suspect that duties will keep both you and myself, and you as well, Primogen Islington, fairly busy in the coming nights. We do have a city to rebuild after all.
I always try to make time to answer questions about things unknown. I feel that not enough of our kindred receive the level of knowledge that would best suit them.
Yeah, and
if you have questions about something, ask us.
Yeah, it takes a lot of scaffolding to make a dream work. We're all happy to help where we can.
A dream. Interesting turn of phrase.
Have you never heard of it?
I don't think Oscar has, ST. Has he heard of this? I don't think he has.
How is his academics look?
Non-existent.
Yeah, you have dreams when you sleep, right?
Sure. This is... You'll forgive me. The only connotation, and I guess I didn't think that Kendrick could have dreams more, but...
Repeatedly throughout the history of kindred society, we have tried to form better societies, better cities, better civilizations. Often they were failures, but they always boil down to a dream at the beginning. Carthage. Constantinople is the one that is often referred to when they talk about the dream of a peaceful coexistence.
Coexistence between who?
All of us.
Yeah, Oscar's curious because cohesiveness between who exactly? He's like trying to figure out who.
All kindred. One single city without conflict. No real conflict at any rate. To a certain extent, humanity. Well, they are not But every time these utopias have tried, Carthage, Constantinople, New Orleans was even an attempt at it. All failed, but the dream still persists. The idea that we can be better. We can put aside our animosities and coexist to be our best selves.
Huh.
Do you think something like that is possible?
I don't know. To be quite honest with you, my experience with this is limited, and I have what's the word for it? I have been a part of the tower for a very long time. I have also not been. I never spent much of any time with the rabble rousers of them, and I know enough about a Sabbat to think that there really isn't very much reasoning with them. Not truthfully. All they really expect you to do is bow and bend the knee to everything that they are, with little to no thought from you.
Well, certainly some of our stalwart princes' thinking is influenced by this dream, I think. Might bear some thought, if you want to understand the prince and his goals.
Seems pertinent to understand those that you serve, or at least those that you swear to. I might take you up on that at some point when duty and other things do not prevent us from getting together.
I welcome it. Perhaps we could play some chess. I do so love it.
Well, maybe. I have never been one for much chess, but sharpening of the mind, that I can probably get behind. In any case, I will reiterate again, and thank you both again for taking the time to speak with me.
Of course.
Like I said, it doesn't work if we all don't work towards it. You need help. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I think I heard something about welcome packets. I got a card in one of those, probably.
Yeah, no, it's the I've got the glittery bits. It was covered in glitter, and I am still lint rolling it off of my jacket. My other jacket, not this one. Well, I'm sure if I look around, I will probably have some form of glitter on it.
I recommend some hydrophobic cloth.
Oh, cool.
You know she'll find a way around it.
I know. But she also enjoys a challenge.
Who is she? If you don't mind me asking, I don't want to pry.
The current sheriff.
Oh, wait, I know who you're talking about now. That woman is terrifying. in a specific kind of way.
Best to always have an offering on glitter on standby, kind of like an offering of wasabi peas.
Wasabi peas?
For the little critters. Not Arwen, he's more partial to like beef jerky, but the Rat Union and the Raccoonian too.
So those little things moving about are okay. Noted. I'll see about purchasing some if we ever need to make use of them. Got to be polite and all that. All right then. Well, don't suppose there's anything else compelling that we need to talk about, unless there's pertinent questions that you find you need from me.
Not at all. I think I've learned a great deal from you. I would say, unless you have questions yourself.
I do not at present, not without gathering more research and things from the group at large will be dealing with. I have a feeling that they will probably have different angles at looking at things that I will not, considering I am not an academic man by trade.
Well, we will endeavor to provide assistance where we can with the aforementioned ban that I've already mentioned.
I appreciate it. Regent Islington, Mix Leclerc. Do you have an official title that you would wish to be referred by?
Oracle Leclerc, isn't it?
We are not officially in court, so Mix Leclerc is fine. In court, But yeah, in court, Oracle Leclerc. Outside, Mix Leclerc is fine.
Noted. Is there a whip for you all? I don't imagine that I will have a direct line or an ability to contact the Primogen himself.
We are currently in the process of deciding who that will be. Till then, feel free to reach out. I'll be glad to assist you. And he'll hand you a card. This is my card. If you need any assistance from the Tremere, by all means.
Yeah. So he will pause for like half a second before reaching out, grabbing the card, sticking it into the same pocket that he stuck Cyrene's, and he will says, by your leaves then?
Of course. Have a pleasant evening, Mr. Sullivan. I wish you well.
Good. Wish you well as well. And we'll wait for them to get up and then rise up shortly after they do and back out of the room. And we'll back like a foot or two back down the wall before turning back on his boot heel and making his way out. But yeah, he will start making his way out and just kind of glad to not have to take the plant back to the thing, because it was kind of, the more he thinks about it, the more bulky it actually is. And he would like to at present leave dirt for the dirt man and go get a snack if he can.
Yeah, no. If he wants to go hunt, he is more than welcome to.
Yay, snacks. For the dirt man. Okay, so
Meanwhile, Serene is cooing at the newly renamed Pamela. You know, you were gonna get so nicely along with Alma. I bet she's gonna love you. Just happily
Oh my
chittering to his in the car.
oh Jesus. Okay, I'm gonna I hate all of this. I do, so I'm gonna have to reroll failures. I don't wanna, but I have to, so that's 4 willpower spent. And I got 4 successes.
Yes.
Yay. So
4
at least he will get
successes.
4
taking
willpower
his
back.
hunger down to 1.
It's fine. It's fine. He won't be impaired when he comes back. So that there's at least that. But yeah, he's gonna end the night topping it all off, and is gonna once he kind of comes back, he's gonna kind of pull up to the apartment, sit / lean on the hood of his car because he's tall enough to do this, and will light a cigarette and just kind of smoke it and just do one of those numbers, let out a heavy sigh, and just kind of go through the motions of doing that before making his way back into the apartment proper. Make some phone calls, do some debriefs, things of that nature. Actually,
Yeah.
hold on. Maybe reach back out to Valentina to give her a debrief because he's made a habit of debriefing her on official coterie things that he was doing. So, or at least he's going to try to make it a habit to do that. So he's going to call her.
There would be no answer, and it would go to voicemail.
Oh, well, he'll make it so short and sweet and to the point. Says, meeting went well. The guest is with the professor and his study group. We'll talk next time the group meets. And we'll click. And then just kind of go through the rest of the process of smoking and then tapering off the rest of his night.
So returning back into his haven to make proper phone calls and messages and things. Dear old sire would be back there, sitting in a chair, reading a book as you walk in. Doesn't really pay you any concern. And then I assume you just end the night going and prepping for torpor?
Yeah, pretty much. He don't got much else. He'll check in with his sire and things like that. And also, I actually need to revisit that checklist because that's something else he's gonna start trying to do for the pub.
When you actually go to approach your sire, you give him the normal greeting of like, "Hey, old man." At first, you don't get a response. After like, "Hey, old man," like, "Oh, what's up? What do you want?"
Oh, just checking in. What's got your leather all crunched up like that? What's wrong with you?
Nothing. I was just reading. I was really into it.
What are you reading? And we'll try to look at the cover of the book.
It is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Huh. Okay. It's just like you're reading about sea monsters. That's Oscar's best guess.
You know, boy, it wouldn't hurt you to pick up a book once in a while instead of trying to pick up every pretty thing that bats their lashes at you.
I promise you that lashes have absolutely nothing with the pretty that I tend to pick up, but, you know.
Right. I forget that your standards are lower than that.
And no, I simply do not limit it to feminine or masculine at this moment, so.
Are you trying to tell me men don't have eyelashes? I have eyelashes.
I mean, yes, but yours aren't long and luscious or flipped up a certain way.
so that's what it takes. Okay.
For the love of...
Puts his nose
You know
back in the
what?
book.
I have never seen long, gorgeous lashes. No, but he's just gonna kind of brush off a little bit, and then it's just like, you know what? What the? This kid. I can't. Can't look at Beta
That's
Chat
very much the
anymore.
energy that gave me.
Thank you, Kosen, for emulating the exact sentiment on which I am trying to emulate as well. So yeah, no. Upon that note, and his sire just being a little bit weird, he's gonna just... He might bed down at the Coterie Haven instead, because that is a whole bunch of weird he just doesn't want to deal with at the moment. He doesn't have the dice pool to check to insight check his sire like this, so I don't think he does actually. Does he? Can he? Before he does that, he is just going to do the whole squint. And I squint at the old man
Okay, you squint at him.
and do the vibe check. As that
Okay.
wits it.
Wits and insight.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Okay, so that is 4. Jesus. I do not have the pool for this. I need more pool for this. Should I blood surge? Maybe, but I don't know if I want to play with the hungry yo-yo. I really don't. So we're just going to keep it at it. We're just going to keep it at this and hope that I get somewhere with it. Oh, dear God. Yep. Nope. This is just going to happen now. I don't have. No, I don't. I don't. At this point, I don't. At this point, I don't. I don't want to spend the last bit of willpower I've got. Nope.
All right. Not only do you don't seem to glean anything from him, but you will be under ruthlessness compulsion.
Wait, what does that
which
mean?
will not let up. So the next time when you fail an action, you now receive a 2 dice penalty to all rolls until a future attempt at the same action succeeds.
So I've got a vibe check until I pass the vibe check or figure out what the vibe is?
Until you successfully insight check him.
Him specifically or just somebody in general?
It says attempt at the same action. So that tells me the same person.
Okay. I just thought it meant the same action. So if he's attempting to vibe check somebody, i.e. his sire, then he's just trying to vibe check somebody. If he can insight check somebody else, I feel like that would work, but I won't argue.
I mean, I'd say good luck with any of it, given that dice pool.
Yeah, no, I'm aware of that. It's just I don't want to spend the next 6 months at a -2 penalty, so
yeah, we can probably say it's somebody.
Okay, cool. I'm not going to vibe check the prince. That man has fortitude 80 million miles long, and I'm just do not. You could try. No, I'm not going to get more crits. I do not want more crits. This is not going to benefit from any of this. So no. We are not.
All right. When Nux Oscar wakes, it will probably be in the coterie session.
Okay.
And he will still retain his compulsion.
Okay, that's fine. It's more of a thing. He's just going to have to vibe check somebody.
And I shall do the exorcism.